Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Mike McConville here one more time for StringTech Workstations, Stratford, Ontario, Canada. Now, Sean drove up from Port Perry to drop off a trio of Gibson guitars. As always, we're going to kind of walk you through it. In the foreground here, we got a double-cut Les Paul, and it's got the sculpted wraparound tailpiece slash bridge. We're going to kind of tweak that and cut a compensated nut to match. Now, this one will be 9 to 46 strings. This Les Paul standard, also of Sean's, is in for a complete refret. There's not too much left of these frets. We'll show you as we move along. For those of you who are following my channel, you know that a good, strong 60% of the guitars I work on are Gibson guitars. Electric and acoustic, new and vintage. And I try to divulge as much information as I can to shed a little light on what it takes to get these Gibsons to behave themselves. And this is how I set up to do this job, edge dressing, on the XLT TechDeck. All the intonation, compensated nut, the bridge adjustments, everything's been done. I just have those tongue depressors that go in underneath the neck and hold the strings out of the way as I do my edge dress. So as you can see, the instrument is actually held in place by the body. The neck is completely open. There's no vices or clamps or anything in the way. I am free to do the fret dress end to end without any obstruction. And I was telling the customer that usually it's month of February that you get this done, because that's when the wood of the guitar is at its driest. And so he may or may not need to get it touched up again next February. It's good that Sean got the guitar here when he did, because the real brutal summer humidity has not settled in yet. This allows me to take care of the lion's share of those protruding frets before that heavy humidity arrives and the wood swells. Good, happy with that. So now we go over the bottom of the crown, those sharp tips, with the auger file. That's our next step. And now with a scrub block, we take the file marks out. I start with 400 grit, and that takes the lion's share of the file marks out and gets rid of any edginess. Next I have my 600 grit, and that just softens it a little bit further. Much better. And just before I get the buffer out, I finish that up with emery cloth. These scrub blocks that I make up in the kits allows the paper to flex and slur across those crowns and gently get rid of any barbs. So this is my last step before I switch over to the buffing wheel. We still got to do that other side. Just move those tongue depressors over a little bit out of the way. And here is another perspective view on the bass side. Same job. So these fret files are a fine single cut, so they only cut in one direction. And you have to see me kind of reversing it to come back in this direction. Here's a better camera angle for you. That's I want to bring you in close to the bridge here. I want to point something out. See this distance here, the treble side of the bridge? Let's have a look at the bass side. You can see that it's much lower, closer to the body, than the treble side is. So the reason that bridge is tilted like that is because the actual neck set, the tenon and mortise joint, is actually tilted a little bit like this. So this is why the treble side of the bridge is higher off the top than the bass side. The neck is not twisted. This has been plecked, and whoever did it did a great job. Frets have been buffed. The edge dress is done. I'll bring you in a minute and show you that. But don't adjust that bridge. The other thing that's always a delight when this happens, that sculpted bridge, I did touch up the D and the G string a little tiny bit. But the way this lines up with this compensated nut for these 9 to 46 strings, it is perfectly in tune. The string height or action, everything about this guitar is 100% 9 to 46 at concert pitch. So this is your compensated nut detail. Yeah, when I see this, switching out to a chrome jack plate is a real good idea. Much better. So as I do the wrap up on this double cut Les Paul, I thought I'd just backtrack and show you the values for the original nut when I fretted the 12th fret note and played the open string. These were the discrepancies, E, A, D, G, B, E. The low E was fine right out of the gate. And as you can see, the A, 4 cents flat, 4 cents. G was 6 cents flat, B, 2 cents flat, and high E, 2 cents flat. After I made the initial compensated nut blank, we were looking at these values here, sharp, 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 and this was still flat. And then as I went through it that third time, we got it all lined up. So now we'll take a look at the tuner, do the tuning test before I bring it into the studio and plug it in and let you hear it. I will play the open string, 12th fret fretted, 7th fret corresponding 19th fret octave, and then the 12th fret fretted again, open string, and fretted 1st fret. I'll do that on each string all the way across. Okay, here's the loop, B major loop. I'll let that play. one of the beauties of the fixed bridge. After all of that bending and stretching, all 6 strings are still perfectly in tune. That is the advantage of the non-adjustable saddles, the sculpted bridge, and I did tweak that a little bit. Intonation is impeccable on this guitar. I like these 9 to 46 strings. And that was totally clean. I did not have any drive on that. And this is probably what you would normally hear on this guitar. This is Gibson's Telly. Cuts like a knife.